So this is my new airplane again. This is the Super Patriot Mark II. I got to review the Mark I a couple years ago. Okay, good to meet you, man.
Hey, good to meet you. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So it's fun to be able to do the follow-up. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys, I guess you applied basically all of my feedback, which is pretty cool.
Plus a little bit more.
That's nice. I flew Mark I at home for about a month. This time I'm in Arkansas checking out Mark II. My favorite upgrade is the 3-blade constant speed prop.
That is awesome.
Yeah, no, she's great, man. Solo.
It's a different game.
Like, I don't know how sure what those takeoffs were, but
I'm not even 80 to 90 feet.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm glad you got some solos, and I'm glad we did that.
We got a lot done here over 3 days, including showing the girls what backcountry STOL flying is all about. We're out here at Bird's Adventure Center, and this is a cabin that I just flew my family to in the Super Patriot Mark II. This episode is going to be about what it's like to get some transition training for an airplane like this, regardless of your experience level. The team will help you get transitioned and comfortable in the airplane that you're considering buying, or even do it in the one you bought.
Rock clear?
Game plan is that I'm going to kind of show you a little bit about what the airplane can do, what its capabilities are. So we'll do the first flight today with me in the front seat, kind of doing a demo for you.
All right, you got me? Yep, got you loud and clear.
We'll land, we'll do a quick debrief, swap seats, throw you in the front. You're already familiar with this airplane. This one's really not any different. In fact, in a lot of ways, it's more forgiving. There are a few things you need to watch out for, particularly because it has so much more power in a power on settings. You'll fly. Hopefully, we'll get you soloed out today. And then tomorrow, we'll plan on going out as two ship, as two different aircraft where I'm providing any instruction that's needed from the other aircraft, which is more how I'm used to doing it in the military and stuff like that.
That's cool, that's cool.
Terrain, pull up, pull up.
This was my first time flying with the instructor
Traffic.
in a different airplane, and it was an amazing experience.
All right, where am I stopping? I got taxi further? Yeah. I would taxi a little further. Okay, all good. I'm just going to taxi further to get out of your way. Up the snow, we good with that? Yeah, we're going to have to... Want me to slow down? Yeah, probably. Okay, we're kicking the snow up on the flaps, so I'm just going to really taxi slow here. We just provided a nice ice coating to our entire underwing. So we thought there wasn't going to be any snow. I'll just get up to the dog leg and turn around, park for you, or where do you want me to stop? Just move up a little bit out of the way, I'll come in and land. There's less snow on the second half here.
We definitely want to get you and your family flying in it, so obviously whenever it makes sense weather-wise, we'll do that. So big goals for the week are get you checked out, go check out all the backcountry ships, fly your family, and then at the end of the weekend we're going to actually have you stay at Bird's Adventure Center, which is a backcountry airstrip not too far from here. Stay in a really nice cabin with the airplane literally outside the front window.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's going to take a few episodes to cover the whole story here. This one starts with the client demo and ends with me solo to start some proper backcountry flying.
All right, my temps are good. Are you ready to go? Ready to go. This is awesome. This is really good backcountry training right here. You're getting so many approaches, so many landings in such a short time period.
For now, let's get back on board for the client demo.
All right, here we go.
And again, the crew at Patriot Aircraft will work with you regardless of your experience level. In my case, I do have a fair bit of tailwheel time, but I hadn't flown a Cub in a while.
Once we get out of airspace, we'll climb up and we'll practice our slow fly, we'll practice some seat turns and stalls, both power on and power off. All right. So when I'm solo and I'm not super heavy, maybe half fuel, I put my nose about 25 degrees nose high on climb out. Yeah, that's cool. With both of us in it, I imagine it'll be somewhere about 17.5 to 18 degrees. Yeah, so we're climbing out at 60 or VX at about 17.5 degrees nose high. So, like any aircraft with big wings, there is some asymmetric yaw, unlike the RB, which is a little shorter, couple rudders with the roll, especially if you're doing more aggressive rolls. Yep. If you don't do that, you'll definitely feel yourself get pushed one side or the other. Yep. All right, so we'll do a clearing turn here, so just kind of make sure everything's good, nice, gentle, 30-degree bank, 40-degree bank turn. All right, looks clear on ADS-B, looks clear visually. Let's start with some power off stalls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the power back. Actually, we'll start with slow fly before we get to stalls. And I didn't pay attention to what you set for cruise, but did you pull the power back to what, 24 squared? 24 squared, 2450. Okay. Below about 60, you want to keep the flaps up above 80. We'll below about 60, bring them in. I'll bring in 2 notches of flaps. Got to point into the wind here a little bit, just so we're not covering quite as much ground. So here at 45, one of the things that's nice about it is the really big ailerons.
Yep.
So even at super slow speed, you can kind of hear the Garmin talking to you a little bit. Like we still have pretty strong aileron control, which is great when you're slow, right? Say you're on final, short final, something like that, and you get a big gust of wind on a crossy wind day, you still have a lot of aileron authority to correct for that. So right now we're indicating about 38 miles an hour. I'm actually turning to wind right now because we've got 20 miles an hour of tailwind. But even at that speed, as long as you can feel that buffet right there.
Yep.
The good example of an accelerated stall, right? We're above the speed. We're going about 45, 46 miles an hour. Now if we go into the wind and we slow it down, you can see if you look down on the ground, we're not moving very fast.
Nope.
So the aircraft kind of just hangs out there really without any work. Now, if I start to pull the power back, what we'll do, and like I said, even at this speed, even super slow, we still have a decent amount of authority, right?
Yeah.
And that's like about to stall.
Sure, yeah.
So if we bring it back, I'm going to go ahead and, actually I'm going to push up the power a little bit. We'll get going a little bit faster. And then I'm going to chop the power to idle, and we'll show you a power off stall. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the throttle back, and instead of recovering when we get the stall, I'm going to hold the stick back. So I'm just going to put the stick back, hold the stick back, and what you'll see is the aircraft will stall, the nose will go down, it'll start flying again, and it'll pick back up. So if we go to idle here, I'm going to continue to bring the stick back, so the nose stalls, but the stick is still back.
Yeah.
It recovers, starts flying again, I'm holding the stick back. A little bit of a dip there.
And you just touch the rudder to fix that?
Just a little bit of rudder.
Yeah.
But if I continue to hold it back, stalls, it recovers. And then if we add some power to it, here's where you're going to see a high deck angle, okay?
Yeah.
So we're going to go power up. I need right rudder here because you got a lot of P factor. So we're 25 degrees nose high right now.
Yeah.
I keep bringing it up to about 27. There's 28 degrees. You can feel it wanting to stall there, starting to get a little soft.
Yeah.
Make sure you keep right rudder. But there we go.
There's a little spin, but not.
And that's where you'll feel that left wing dip. As long as you correct it, you know, it immediately recovers. Another thing I like to show is, you know, even if you get in that situation, the second that was with me holding the stick back, the second you start feeling that, if you just unload a little bit, it immediately recovers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And one of the nice things is if we do a power off stall in this situation, by adding the power up and just adding a little bit of airflow, you immediately start flying again. So say you're in the final turn, you've got the power back, right? And we stall the aircraft, just power up, and the nose doesn't even drop, right? Because you get so much more airflow over the wing and then the stab to be able to keep that airplane up. So that's it as far as the stalls go. Obviously with the flaps in, you get a pretty good turn radius. So we're going 50 right now. I'm going to speed up a little bit, but if we get a decent turn, your turn radius, if you look on the ground, I mean, we're maybe a 50-foot turn radius, maybe a 100-foot turn radius. And you can feel the aircraft, even if you get to an accelerated stall, it's still fairly controllable like that.
You got authority,
Lots of authority to still be able to do things. So that's it as far as steep turns go. So we got power on stalls, power off stalls, steep turns. Anything else you'd like to see from an air work perspective?
I think those are the big three.
Okay.
So I'm good there.
One of the things I like about the Garmin here is I've got the G meter up here.
Yeah.
So at max gross weight plus 4.5 Gs, 4.4 Gs is its structural design limit.
Okay.
Obviously, if you're lighter than that, then you can go much better. The point of that is not that you're doing aerobatics or anything. You're not in your RV doing that stuff, but you don't really have to worry about it, right?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we're not going to be doing 4 Gs in this thing.
Yeah, 2 or 3 Gs is, I mean, if you ever really exceed that, really where that big stress is going to be happening, say you're in heavy turbulence, right? And you really get knocked around.
If you want to see this airplane in person, it's going to be at AirVenture. Look for it by Hangar B, but it will have a beautiful new paint job that's been added since I got to fly it. And I'll have the RV14 on display at IAC, and we'll also be doing a talk about what it was like to build it, learn to fly aerobatics, and then compete for the first time in that airplane.
But now we're actually within gliding distance of our next one. So what I'll do is I'll do a simulated power out landing on this airstrip.
Yep.
And so I'm going to carry some extra energy. And then as we run into a situation where I want to have a little bit of extra because I've simulated my engines out.
Yep.
And then when I have too much, we'll wind up slipping a little bit to bring it in. So you see this field over here to the left, at 11:30 or so, down in that valley.
Okay.
That's where we're going to be landing. So I've got the power back at idle already.
Yep.
I could pitch for 60 And flaps, we'll go ahead and do that now.
Those 2 notches. Oh,
2 notches. Yeah, the 3rd notch, honestly, I just never use it. I don't really find much advantage in it. So we've got plenty of energy here, but not too much that I'm uncomfortable, so I'm just going to keep what we have right now. Power's back at idle. Props in, mixtures in. Flaps are 2. And I want a little bit of extra energy because I'm going to make kind of a 30-degree turn there, right? Yep. I'll have the power here just in case. Add a little bit of power just for mom and pop. And then here's the runway right here.
Sure, yeah.
So we're idle, come in, bring it close to ground effect, flare it off. And we'll do a 3-point landing here. Nice. So for your takeoffs, I would recommend go ahead and putting flaps 2 in.
Yep.
Power all the way up. If you want to do a static takeoff, that's fine. You don't no need to. Once you see about 38 miles an hour, you're good to start rotating.
Sure.
You can do it before that, but that's for a nice smooth rotation.
Okay.
Once you see about 38, works pretty well.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I usually wasn't even looking. I was just kind of raising the tail, feeling it.
Right. And you'll notice that when you're by yourself,
Yeah.
like the performance we had at Bentonville versus the performance here would be a night and day difference.
Sure, yeah.
Everything about this airplane is meant to be as light as possible, and so just keep it light, and we can talk about all the different things that have been done in this aircraft. I think the engine is one of the bigger things, right? The engine and the propeller.
Yeah.
We've got a 3-blade carbon fiber prop up there with an IO320, normally pushing out 140 to 160 horsepower. So most people, what they do in order to try to get that power that we have of basically 200 horsepower here, they put an IO360.
Yeah.
Well, then you get a big 2-blade metal prop on the front, you got to put weight in the tail, and all that stuff just increases your wing loading.
Yeah.
You take the fact that this airplane's really light and the fact that it has a little bit of extended wings, your wing loading is very, very low, which makes it perform the way that a Cub type airplane is supposed to perform.
Before wrapping up the client demo and swapping seats, here's some of my main feedback that they addressed in Mark II. The original Super Patriot has a ground adjustable fixed pitch prop. It gives you some good range of what you can do, but the problem is you got to do it on the ground and make a decision, and then you're stuck with it. This airplane has an awesome 3-blade constant speed prop, and that was one of the things I was really hoping they would do. At this point, the way they have this set up, I don't know what else I would want. It's got the amazing gear that the original had. They've added the avionics that I wanted, the autopilot that I wanted. The other small complaint that I had was about the window latch location related to the throttle. So the original window latch was probably about here, so I felt like it impacted my throttle hand, kind of awkward. So I flew with the window open a lot, but that was in July. So in the winter, you'd want it closed. So having it back here gave that extra space, so my throttle hand was not impacted by the location of the window latch. They really applied literally every single piece of feedback that I had within less than 2 years. So it's pretty amazing.
One of the advantages of an airplane like this versus what you have with other aircraft, like my Debonair or your RV or whatever, is that impossible turn situation. So you're taking off, say there wasn't this field here, and you just, say you lost the engine.
Yeah.
Well, it's, what do you do? Well, fortunately, because we have a good wing loading here,
Just push the nose down and
keep the nose down, make sure that you don't stall the aircraft.
yeah.
Bring it around,
Pull up.
and now we have too much energy to land,
Yeah.
Pull up.
And so that's one of the great things about being in the backcountry is you got lots of options because it's just such a light airplane. It can fly so well.
Yeah. What do you think you were at? Like 300 AGL when you made that turn?
Yeah, maybe.
That's awesome.
I mean, if that, to be completely honest.
Yeah. So the key is just do not load the wing.
I mean, you can load the wing as long as your nose is down and you have enough airspeed. But if you keep your nose up, you're going to stall.
Right.
Now, for most people, don't try that impossible turn, right?
Well,
I mean, look for an airfield off the nose. There's, we all, I don't know if you do SPAD, McSPAD, and I've had several friends who've tried to make that happen.
Yeah, that's gut wrenching.
And in my Debonair, I'd never try that,
Right.
Like not even close.
And with that, it was time to swap seats, and I'll share one of my last landings here before the sign-off for solo.
Nice. What's our airspeed?
55 and descending.
Cool. What are you going down to?
We're going to 45, right?
All right. Yep. 45 sounds
So
good. And you see the sync rate?
Power. So I'm adding power.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's fine.
So 46.
Yeah. Let that sync rate keep going down. Obviously, the nose angle's quite a bit more.
I'm gonna let her just hit. Just gonna get rid of the power and.
Yep. Chop the power now. Keep it off the ground. Higher, higher, higher.
Yeah. Still so good. But that's what you can do, and then you can really get on the brakes.
You really get on the brakes.
Yeah.
So I had this for 2 days. I took it to this whole competition. I wasn't really comfortable with this particular airplane, like this particular model number, and I landed in 80 feet.
That's awesome.
Without really any headwind.
Yeah.
My takeoff was 61 feet.
right, well, I mean,
You're feeling great with it. I mean, how do you feel right now?
good. I could just start dialing it in. I just wanted to get the slow handling dials.
And you notice when you came in at 45 how your sink rate was higher?
Yeah.
It's because you're starting to get on that back end of the power curve,
Right.
you know? And you can do that all the way down to 40. You just need more power, otherwise you're going to be sinking. Which, if you do, the landing gear can handle it. But
yeah, even that one, we didn't hit that hard. I mean, she had some left.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we'll do it again?
Yeah.
Rich,
Absolutely.
fine. I'll do static, run up. Power set.
So you can start rotating about 4 seconds before you are.
Okay.
The airplane has enough flying airspeed on it.
And no doubt the coolest thing I got to do here was get Jill up flying over the beautiful Ozarks for a sunset formation flight.
Alright, you're cleared to go trail. Got trigger gap at 1 o'clock.
Roger, going trail.
And then show her a legit backcountry airstrip and a STOL landing.
Were they getting some footage?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, Patriot flight, let's push 122.9.
1229.
Trigger gap, Patriot, flight of 2's about 3 mile final for landing towards the east trigger gap.
So the concern here is the illusion because of the valley, essentially?
Exactly, you feel like you're higher than you actually are, so just make sure it's a good glide path. If you're going to air towards a little high.
Roger.
Alright, I'm going to keep my speed up since I'm doing a low approach.
Okay, I think I'll continue and land. It looks good. You just let me know if you see anything on the runway.
Sounds good, it's looking pretty good so far. Looks like a decent headwind, maybe a slight left crosswind.
Roger.
Wow. This is stunning.
If you've got any questions about this sort of STOL flying, please put them in the comments and we'll try to address them in the upcoming episodes.
Landing after a big valley. Oh, so pretty. So pretty.
And that's how it's supposed to be in these things, bumpy.
That's okay.
You land firm because we're landed short.
Oh, this is so pretty. Oh my god, look at
Alright,
this.
look good. I'm going to swing back around and go land. Just past that tree is the perfect spot right there.
Oh my god, it's gorgeous here.
There's 2 or 3 more episodes coming from this series. We got some great stuff and I'm super excited to share it. It'll probably be coming in the fall after the dust settles from AirVenture. And until the next one, keep your flight chops sharp.
Not a super wide river here.
Yeah, I'm about 50 feet above treetops, just enjoying watching you do that. Wow, he is putting his wings within 10 feet.
Bald eagle on that tree right there just looked at me.
That's awesome.